Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And we got Ron not here, but he is in our time zone. He is back from his work in China right now. As we do the quarantine pod, as he hangs out in Toronto. Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I'm in Toronto.
Toronto, hey?
In a little bit of a self-monitored quarantine.
Not a boy.
Hey, man. And the exciting news is we get to see you like in a week.
Yeah, that's freaking cool.
Yep.
Man,
so
unexpected studio pods.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, for working my project, which is, obviously I'm in China working. The coronavirus has definitely put a damper on things. So I was fortunate enough to have the ability to, take a couple days out of Beijing, and that turned into don't come back. And then, just kind of floating around. And since I landed in Canada, before coming to the US, I have, that, like I said, the 14-day, self-monitored quarantine before I can go back to the States or anything like that. So 7 more days, and then I'll come down and hang out with you guys, and we can actually have a pint and pod in the studio together.
Well, I don't know if you've seen, but it's been pretty sweet. Both on our Twitter, I think I've even gotten an email. There were some listeners that were worried about you because I knew you were working in China and asking like what your status was and if you were there still and stuff. So.
Oh, that's so cool. I did not see any of that.
Yeah.
Me neither. That's awesome.
So
that
there's your
awesome.
update.
Well, thanks for everybody who was concerned. I'm healthy, no corona. And, I've had several coronas in my travels here because, why not?
I want to say that I feel pretty classy that that's not our beers for the pod today.
I thought about it, but yeah, no.
It definitely crossed our minds.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that the actual brewing company, Corona is still its own brewing company, even though it's owned by InBev. But
that's right.
Corona's Twitter has said you cannot get the coronavirus by drinking our beer. The worst that can happen is that you have a hangover, and therefore you'll have to go eat Taco Bell for drunk food. They tagged Taco Bell in their tweet. That's pretty great.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, wow. You know what? A hangover of Corona followed by Taco Bell. That's its own kind of virus.
Oh.
That's
Yep.
That's going in the toilet either. Both ends, probably.
Get to the beer real quick so we can get to this here pod. I love when Ferris is pointing at me to write down. Yeah, I said a bad word. Put it on the put it on the bleep sheet.
Yeah, and I'll make this beer introduction short, as we've definitely.
How am I episode 132, and this is the first time I've called it the bleep sheet? That's a great name.
Have you not called it that?
No.
You sure?
No, that's the first time.
I'm writing that down right now. The bleep sheet,
the official bleep sheet of the Brewtiful Game, sponsored by whatever notepad that is.
We should like put that up on after I've edited and I cross out how many I do. I should put those on an Instagram story every now and then so people can see.
Mm-hmm.
The old bleep sheet.
Yeah,
dang. It's like the swear jar, right?
Exactly.
So we got to have a contest where listeners figure out how many bleeps we've had
before the pod
in our episodes, and then like closest to without going over.
Oh, I got a feeling we won't. Well, when we get to the Premier League, we'll talk about it. I don't think we'll have too many. The Premier League is kind of what it is right now. It's a very interesting setup. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you on your beer track.
No, you're fine.
But bleep sheet, that's staying. We're going to copyright that.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. No, I'll make this beer introduction short because we've definitely had the brewery once or twice on the pod before, and it is one of our local favorites. I was thinking of, when we said Corona, I was like, all right, I want to find something maybe in that genre of beer, if you will. It's not a Mexican lager or anything like that, but it is a nice, smooth drinking lager from Crooked Can called Florida Sunshine.
Oh, dude.
I don't know if you've had it yet or not.
I'm very excited because I have not had this yet. But I hear it. You know me. I like a good American lager. And I'm excited to try this one.
Yeah, this is one of their newly tapped core beers, actually. So it's available in cans, and you can certainly get it at the brewery if you're in the area. It is 5.0 ABV, 10.8 on the IBUs. Beer for the masses. Clean, crisp, all Pilsner malt lager with a soft bread malt profile and faint hop bitterness to balance. This is our brew staff's go-to shift beer.
Shift beer. I
Shift
like
beer.
that.
So I figured, well, Ron's kind of not on a shift right now due to being exiled, if you will, from China.
Exiled.
We will have a shift beer in his honor, and one that is
I'm
hopefully
excited
nice,
about
smooth,
this, man.
and crisp.
We'll say something. It's the known as simply the cold one. I like it. Brewed to be cold and crisp. Cool conditional lager.
Social souvenir is what it says at the top.
Nice.
And, see, it's a perfect Ferris beer because it says it's going to have you trading in your work shoes for flip-flops with a gross bottle opener in the
I
bottom.
already got him. No bottle opener, though.
All right, here we go.
Upgraded. Are you using the Alexi Lawless sign?
Oh, I didn't realize.
Koozie? Yeah, boy.
I didn't even mean to.
America.
I picked up a koozie and it's one Alexis Lawless sign. I can't say his name.
Alexi Lawless.
Thank you. There
Welcome.
you go. Couldn't speak. All right, here we go. Yeah. All right, so here's the lager. Oh, good grief. That's great.
Oh, it's smooth.
The good old American lager. This is what a Budweiser or like something should taste like.
Exactly, yeah.
What do you got up your way in Toronto, Ron?
So I'm drinking a local beer. If you've been following our Untapped,
Which has been awesome thanks to you lately with your bouncing around.
Yeah, I've been just blowing up our Untapped. But this one I have is from Upper Thames Brewing Company here in Woodstock, Ontario. Upper Thames Brewing Company is the first craft brewery in Woodstock County. They produce high quality small batch beers all in-house. And one of the cool things about these guys is that they brew with high quality and all locally sourced ingredients from across Ontario. So on their website, they have all of their suppliers listed out on their website, which is pretty cool. So you can kind of see, what they're getting and where. And this brewery has 10 beers that they produce. And I have one called the Dusk Till Dawn.
Ooh,
nice. It is a white stout, 5% ABV, prepared to be delighted by rich coffee and chocolate flavors with subtle notes of caramel and Irish cream. A fragrant coffee aroma is complemented by smooth, velvety mouthfeel that rounds out the delicious brew. Good
grief, that's some pretty writing.
Some pretty writing.
And the label's very Canadian. It's basically this lumberjack standing in a grove of pine trees, and he's silhouetted by the moon, and his reflection is silhouetted by the sun, the reflection in the water. It's a pretty slick little label.
Nice, would you call him a lumbersexual kind of lumberjack, or is he just your standard lumberjack?
Oh, no, he's just the standard.
Oh, he's not an Olivier Giroux. Come on, Giroux. You're not getting played. Come on down to Orlando. We know you want to.
He's staying at Chelsea for the time being. That was quite big news at the deadline day.
Yeah.
So the only news for the deadline day for Chelsea. We'll get that too.
Exactly.
I'm very fascinated by all these white stouts. So many people say that it's, it's not a stout, and, there's all this argument back and forth about the beer style and stuff, but man, they sure do taste like stouts.
Who cares, dude? If it tastes good, we tried a Dragon's Milk white stout that we tried.
I think we did.
Oh my God. This is such a good beer. Holy crap.
What was the ABV on that?
5.0.
That's not bad. Usually when it's a stout that loaded with stuff, it's kind of up there. It's like a session stout.
The coffee and the chocolate in this is good. And then it's kind of a little bit of a citrusy aftertaste. Ooh, it's good.
Speaking of citrus, just made me think of this. Over at work for some of the, they brought in some different craft beers from mostly New Orleans, but some around the Gulf Coast. But there was one South Beach Pier or South Beach. I got to look up the name. But the tap handle was wonderful. It was a pelican with a big old cigar hanging out of his mouth.
Awesome.
And it was a beer mosa. It was like used beer, a very like almost like champagne-y kind of crisp beer with orange juice and strawberry. And it sounded so sweet. I got it, just to give it a go. Oh my goodness. It was so flipping good. It was not too sweet. I got to see if I can try and find it for the show because it was just unlike anything I've had, but I couldn't find it in bottles or anything anywhere.
Well, what was it called, you said?
South Beach. It was like a strawberry mimosa. South Beach Brewing.
Interesting.
But there have been some good ones. I failed, though. Did not get that on the Untapped at all. See, or I would know the exact name because I would have put that in.
Yeah, we're not very good at that. Ron is, but we're not.
Ron's great. Well, see, since while in between this pod that took forever, part of this was we did our Boxing Day, and then the ravages of this flu season ran through where I work twice. People all got knocked out days at a time with a terrible respiratory flu. And then like 2 weeks later, as people started slowly stumbling back into this empty office, the stomach flu went around and it was just brutal. So this is actually like the fourth beer I've had since Boxing Day. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. Because I just couldn't. I was like, just absolutely done. So actually this nice crisp lager is a good step back into the pool.
You're welcome.
Maybe the reason I haven't gotten it is because of all the alcohol I've been drinking.
There you go. You pickled yourself. You're totally anesthetized now at this point.
Hey kids, don't get the flu shot. Just drink booze. You'll be fine.
Oh God,
you'll survive.
A beer a day keeps the virus away.
What have we done?
I like it. Courtesy of the Brewtiful Game.
I'm gonna tell you right now. When I work, I heard a segue in my head. If there's anybody that's been inoculated to losing, it's certainly Liverpool. There we go. There's your segue into Premier League.
Thank you, Blake.
I mean,
does it? All right,
funny
hold on.
Because Ferris sent out our stuff. I just want to say before I go ahead, but you made the table much larger than normal. And I just thought it was funny because I was like, God, it's just there. It all is. Anyway, what were you going to say?
Yeah, it's just kind of like because we've missed multiple weeks and the games are all over the place. And now the Premier League's on this like winter break they're trying this year, which is weird. Yeah. It's essentially every team gets 2 weeks off. But not every team gets 2 weeks off at the same time. They do it in like staggered weeks.
No, typically in the rest of Europe, you take it around the holidays, whereas the Premier League does not and does the crazy festive fixtures stuff. Yeah.
So now they're trying something new.
It's like a bye week.
Yeah,
essentially, yeah.
I mean, it's... I don't know if it wouldn't just... I mean, I know they don't want to get rid of like the festive fixtures. That's a tradition. But it almost would feel like it'd be easier to do it at one time, but I guess you can't now because
with the FA Cup and Champions League and everything else, you don't really have the time to do it.
Have to stagger it. Or if you're the case of Man City, you get 3 weeks off since that crazy storm came through and knocked their game out.
Right.
The storm that was so crazy, we had like 35 mile per hour gusts here, but then the storms went like north from us almost all the way up to like Jersey, New York. My parents got snow and stuff. And then that same storm, did you see this? Made a British Airways flight break a record.
For what?
The storm was moving so quick that it broke like the 666 knots and it went subsonic. It didn't technically break Mach 1, but like
it was right there.
It pushed this airliner faster than a past airline has ever gone by a lot. It was kind of crazy.
Wow.
That's our other podcast, Nautical Now, Aeronautical Now. There you go.
Thank you, Blake.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, look, it's
all right. Does anybody? What I was going to ask? Does anybody not think that Liverpool are going to win the league now?
No, more. Have we done the math to see if they keep doing this? When can they win?
Somebody was it Arlo White said on the last game that they played that, it was the last game that Tottenham played Man City and Tottenham won. Arlo White said, with this result, Liverpool can win the league at the time when they do the Merseyside derby next in the league
at Everton.
I'm trying to find when that date is, but that's the earliest they could win it if
because Ancelotti actually talked about that. There are many other teams. Let's try to let them win elsewhere.
Yeah, right. The Merseyside derby is currently scheduled for March 16th. It's a Monday game.
So here's the thing: the league ends in May. If you actually won in March 16th, and let's say you are at this point, you're Liverpool, you are undefeated. Will you have the energy and the drive, not the energy? Will you have that drive to try and be in another Invincibles and go all the way to the end? Or will that?
You would certainly think so.
You know what I mean? Or do you go, well, we could, if you're still in the Champions League, we could just try to do that again. And I don't know.
Still in the FA Cup too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Aren't those nice problems to have?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you just keep playing like Man City is.
I don't think this
still
team
on your tail
could do that any other way.
Right.
Yeah.
You make smart decisions, knowing that you're playing in two other tournaments, and you just continue on with business as normal.
I mean, obviously people know this, right? But we're Liverpool at position 1. They've had one draw, I believe, and the rest have been
against
victories.
Manchester United. Yeah.
They have a plus 45 goal differential. Lord love that. They have 73 points. Next place is Man City, which they did get their game canceled over the weekend, but they're at 51 points.
22-point difference.
That's a lot. And then so there's the two stories of the Premier League are, so no one's chasing them. So again, you got to be committed if you want to get that Invincibles or whatever you're going for. Hey, look, Liverpool, just do it all, because I like Jurgen Klopp, and if Liverpool were going to do it all,
I'd rather just do
it
one of the all, please,
with him than anyone else.
Just do them all. Get it done.
God damn it!
But he's so happy. I want to see him smile even more.
Okay, but I will say, hold on, little Mr. Happy needs to get his happy ass to every game that they can play. The last FA Cup game that they had, he opted not to go. What manager does that? That is a disgrace to the FA Cup. You don't sit your ass at home.
No, that wasn't his team. That was the under-12s that were playing.
I don't give a shit. It was the first team squad on that day playing in the FA Cup, and he was not there.
And what was
not
the
because
reason?
of personal reasons, not because of family reasons. He opted not to go.
Look,
that's bull. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I love him too, but come on, you gotta show up, at least be in the box or something. But not cool.
But I can tell you though, if you win all this, you just look awesome. You're just like, hey, kids got it. The kids have got it. It's fine.
Right.
You're not even there. You are the manager of Liverpool.
He's like
Liverpool Football Club. You're not there. What the hell is that about?
In his position, where they've already won the Champions League this year, and they could try to win the next Champions League. What is the FA Cup?
Nobody's done that before. That's ridiculous.
Well, maybe there was a good reason. They just didn't want to say what the reason was.
That's true. Who knows?
Well, okay, with as much criticism as they get, they would have come out and said why.
Maybe the truth was one of those times where it is actually worse than just taking heat.
Yeah, maybe he who knows, man? Maybe he doesn't want to tell anybody that he had some bad Nando's chicken and is got the trots.
Then then that would actually been a good story. Then he could have been sponsored by Nando's Chicken, and then we had a new sponsorship for the club and all of that. But no, now it's he's just so pompous in a way that he doesn't want to show up for his own club's team like that, or his own club's game when his team's.
Well, you still don't know why he didn't go.
Yeah, maybe we'll find out.
It might be a little harsh to say he's pompous about it.
Ferris, wait till the 3 documentaries that get made about this season air that you get to watch. You'll find out.
You'll find out that the team super glued him to his bed and as a joke.
Yeah. Oh God, that'd actually be hysterical. They hid his giant dentures somewhere.
They broke all of his glasses.
Yeah, exactly.
But what did he came in and said, give me 3 years? And look at what that dude's done. I mean, it's crazy. And at this, but then the other side of this weird story, it's almost, if you're a Liverpool fan, you won't agree with me. It's almost a shame Liverpool is playing such a great season in a year that if they were the Liverpool of 2 years ago, they still would win the league, because it is literally Liverpool and then everybody else.
Yeah.
Because second, third, and fourth place, Man City 51, Leicester 49 points, Chelsea at 4. I mean, with 41 points, Sheffield United at 5th at 39 points.
That's
Sheffield
awesome.
United is playing to be in the damn Champions League. Like,
yeah, that's actually the real story past how amazing Liverpool is.
Totally. When you get past Liverpool, the story of the year, God, in a way,
manager of the year,
it
too.
almost should be Leicester, because it's awesome to see them coming back into form. But it's Sheffield United. I mean, just punching way above weight. People had odds on that they would get relegated this year coming into the Premier League. So, I mean, what they're doing is nuts. Tottenham's at 6th place with 37 points. And then you get Everton with 36, Manchester with 35, United 35, Wolves at 35, Arsenal at 31, tied with Burnley at 31, tied with Newcastle at 31. They get you all the way down to 12. That's crazy.
Southampton at 31.
Oh, that's super bonkers, because it looked like they were done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, going back to Sheffield United, they're also up there with the lowest wage bill in all of the Premier League.
Yeah.
And they're in 5th.
That dude they need to hold on to that coach, because he is going to
Chris Wilder,
poached.
manager of the year so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah, easily.
It's just bonkers. I mean, I don't know what Man City and Chelsea and Man United were at this time last year, point wise. I know Man City, it's a pretty big deficit.
Oh, I had it at one point. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
But like, sorry, I kind of was going on the list, but like, Man City, I mean, I don't know what you say. They have this great team that just manages to lose when they shouldn't. They still have tons of talent, but
yeah,
maybe they're just playing for the Champions League at this point.
You would think Man City is certainly playing for the Champions League. They're going to get Laporte back here shortly, which is going to be a huge help, because that has been such a hole in defense from them that they're kind of lost in a way, that they don't, when they get up or they go down early, they just don't have that resolve at the back to have a solid back, which then allows everybody in front of them to play just without worry in a way. And
what Liverpool is doing right now, because they don't worry about their back line at all.
No, not even in the slightest bit. It shows you just how big of importance it is that to have a real solid back line and a central defender that is good on the ball, that makes smart decisions, that passes it well out of the back, that heads it well. It's all things that Van Dijk does for Liverpool. Those are all the things that Laporte did for Man City. He's been a huge loss. You certainly think that they want him back getting into the knockout stages of the Champions League. And that's where I think they will push more and more and more and kind of go, we're not going to win the league this year. Let's put all of our eggs in that basket.
I do think they're built well to do well in the Champions League. The Champions League is not a marathon. It's a day of kind of a vibe more so than your leagues are. I feel like they got a team that could do that. Aguero is on fire right now, despite the fact that they're sitting where they're sitting. It's just nuts. They were so good last year. And it's like you've already forgotten that because Liverpool is doing so well. It's just bananas.
You asked what the points were for who this time around last year?
So we're at week 26 or 7? Where are we at right now?
I think we're on.
We just started 26.
All right, so I don't have week 26. I have some 26s, but I also have some 27s. Man City was in first this time last year, 27 games played on 65 points, as was Liverpool. And then who was the other one?
Chelsea and Man United, because I feel like they were up, right?
Chelsea or Man United was in 4th at this time last year on 51 points. And Chelsea was in 6th after 26 games on 50 points.
Man, that's actually worst stat for Man United because at 35 points.
Oh, yeah.
If you got Arsenal sitting up there,
Arsenal were in 5th after 26 games on 50 points as well.
Ugh. Just ugly.
Yeah, well, we're only 9 points down from where we were last season.
Chelsea could not be luckier to be having a rebuild year when everyone else is. Like it's nuts to me because really you felt like going this year Chelsea was going to have it really rough. And look, they're 41. They still have a long season left, but boy, they have just been fortunate with the people that have fallen apart. The Tottenhams and that Man U, Arsenal's below them.
Right. Well, what I will say though is the point totals from a lot of the teams and from a lot of the teams in the lower half of the table are fairly similar, but the goal differences are not. So Fulham after 26 games was a minus 33 and Huddersfield was a minus 34. You only have the lowest being a minus 23 his time around.
Because no one's scoring but Liverpool.
Well, but teams are better in the sense that they aren't
giving up as many.
Correct.
Right, yeah.
So that's definitely interesting. The lowest point total last year about this time was Huddersfield was on 11 and Fulham was on 17 points. The lowest point total this year is really only one team, and that's Norwich on 18. Everybody else is 24 and above.
You know the stat that I'm like so sad that I'm not, I don't want to say happy about, but it could be worse. At 10th place in 31 points, Arsenal only has a -2 goal differential. That's amazing.
Really?
That's amazing. Although I guess not in a way because they've had so many draws. There was a crazy stat I heard the other day. They have like as few wins as like Norwich or something. It's insane. Yeah. But they have so many draws. It's crazy.
Yeah. You know what's funny is Arsenal. If we were talking about any other team other than Arsenal, you wouldn't have any problem believing that this team is going to stay afloat in the top 10 because of how many draws they've gotten off of good teams.
Yes. Yes, they've had some. I mean, the Chelsea Arsenal match was bananas, and that was the most like you can tell there's a new coach they like playing for to go down to 10 men and rally back to a 2-2 draw against bitter North London rivals. I was like, oh, hopefully that's some more of the future, and also like Arteta coming in. I've seen some people online. You know how people are online. Man, we're not. Here we are in 10th. Home Slice came in at the festive fixtures. His first game was the one after Boxing Day. Mm-hmm. Like he literally, in fact, this 2-week time off will be the first time that he's had a stretch to work with the team. And I'm not saying it's going to be a miracle in a week when they're back. But I mean, what a crazy time for any manager of the Premier League. Ancelotti came in during the festive fixtures. Again, it kind of speaks to both Everton and Arsenal maybe needing to pull triggers earlier in that situation. But
take a wild guess at how many draws Arsenal have.
So we're at 27 games right now?
25 games.
25. So I'm going to say Arsenal has got, let's say 22 draws and no,
that's not right.
No. We're going to say we've got 19 draws.
No, lower.
Is it lower?
11.
I really thought it was
higher than 11. Wolves has 11. They have the second most draws.
We got 15?
Arsenal has 13 draws.
I really thought it was more than that. I thought it was like
13. They have 6 wins. There are 3 teams lower than them at the current time that have more wins than Arsenal. Actually, no, I lied.
Some of those wins
There's a lot more teams lower than them.
No, there's
Burnley
a lot
being
more.
one. And Newcastle being one. Southampton being one. Palace has 7. Bournemouth have 7. Villa has 7.
By the way, you just all named a bunch of teams that have come back to draw on Arsenal.
They have more wins than Arsenal this year.
But still, I'm just saying, like, that's like,
wow.
They are draw city, buddy. Like
6 wins?
So how many draws in their last 5 games?
5, I think.
We have I feel like there's a loss. Am I wrong? Or did it just feel like
4 draws and a win?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, because we beat Bournemouth? No. Yeah.
Oh.
I think we beat Bournemouth, and I was real torn about that game because I didn't want to see Bournemouth get relegated, but Arsenal needed to win. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, I will say this: silver lining.
Yes, you did beat Bournemouth 2-1. Oh no, that was in the FA Cup. That's what you're thinking of.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
They beat United 2-0. That was
that's right. How did we not get to do a pod after
on the
Arsenal?
first?
Arsenal beat United. That was kind of awesome.
Everybody beats United.
But then again, exactly. Like, who cares?
Right. It's no surprise if you beat Manchester United anymore.
It's like, it'd be more impressive if they beat Newcastle at this point. Like
or Sheffield.
Yeah. That would have been huge, actually. Yeah, it's just a really...
Billy Sharp against Bournemouth.
Hey, buddy. I've been waiting for his name
that stat that I threw out there on Twitter last night is accurate. I double-checked that today. The only 2 goals he scored this year have both been against Bournemouth.
And they were game changers.
They were. The one was on opening day, I want to say, down south, and then Did
you see someone definitely put that on Twitter? Billy F. Sharp.
Yep.
Like,
Kim did.
Yeah, Kim. I was like, there it is. Right, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just bananas. The way things have been going. If I have a silver lining for Arsenal, it would be that over these course of games, if you don't think that Arsenal's defense has gotten better, you're just a really bitter fan because they were atrocious. They don't have new players for that back line, but he is using them better. And the discovery of Martinelli up front. All of a sudden, the idea that we could get rid of Lacazette, if you've got Martinelli, this 18-year-old who's looking like a Rashford kind of like a
this year's been a lot about the youngsters really getting shot.
Across
whether it was Chelsea, United, Leicester. I mean, you can kind of go on that these young players, and Martinelli has come on and been real tough. But you guys have also had a few others that have played a lot of time as well.
Saka,
Maitland-Niles.
Maitland-Niles,
not
but
as much.
He has not been playing him a lot lately.
Who's 66 for you guys? Who the hell's that?
I'm drawing.
He's been playing a lot. 66. I feel like. Is it 66? Who the hell am I thinking?
No, that sounds like American football. Is it honestly 66?
He's an offensive lineman.
There have been a lot of youngsters playing. There has been some interesting things where, man, does it say something that from the interim from Unai Emery to the Freddie Adu to Mikel Arteta, none of them seem to have confidence in Ozil at all.
That's been going back for quite some time.
But I mean, it just like, if there was ever but back at the end of the Arsenal days, it was he able to get the best out of these great players? I don't think for Ozil's case that was the case. I don't know if they can get any money for him. Probably not. I don't know. They're in a weird spot. Chelsea too. Speaking of like transfers and stuff, surprising that your ban was lifted and you guys didn't sign anyone, right?
No, there was a bunch of rumor flying around, but ultimately we didn't really do that much. Yeah, I mean, that was shocking to me. I mean, I'm not sure. I guess I know who. And you never know who was like if we do anything, it's this player and they couldn't get him or whatever. I don't know. But I was real surprised because I feel like Chelsea is in a position to go, man, if we could just get like the right one person, we can stay in this top 4 like comfortably. I think it's difficult, though. I mean, look at all in this, just like we said a couple of minutes ago, it's all these unknown youngsters who are coming in and taking the league by storm. There's not a whole lot of, veteran players just lighting the place on fire unless you're on unless you're on Liverpool or occasionally Man City. So, in some ways, I kind of think I know what they're doing in the respect that they're, maybe just putting the feelers out, playing this year, to the best that they can. And then the summer transfer, things are going to change.
Well, and let's be honest, coming into the year they did with Lampard, if you guys are sitting comfortably in 6, people will be like, man, okay, he's managed to stay in the Europe fight. That's good. I mean, the only reason there's a conversation coming up is you guys just punched above weight immediately.
Yeah.
It wasn't 66. It was 77. Saka.
Okay.
Saka. Yeah. I have no clue I said that.
No, it's weird as an Arsenal fan. I just guarantee it's going to be a draw, and I try to enjoy watching the new kids play and seeing what's the potential for the future. Hey,
that's what United's been doing for a little bit now.
Here's the thing, guys. Come on, Arsenal. Let's win the Premier League next year. Liverpool will be bored with it because they won everything, and we won't be in the Europa, and we won't be in the Champions League. We will not
nothing else to go for
at all.
That and the FA Cup.
You know what? Here comes the Chupacabra Cup. That's what we're going to do.
I will say there wasn't a whole lot of movement on deadline day. Manchester United did make a couple of interesting moves. They brought in who they've been trying to bring in now since the summer, but Sporting's Bruno Fernandes has come in to add a little bit of creativity to the midfield. And in his first game, he looked bright. He had the only 2 shots on goal or at net. He created well. He dropped back. He played a little bit of holding. He played a little bit of attacking. He passed well. He saw the field well. He was lively. So I'm excited for him. And then a really odd one.
He's the Bob Ross of your team right now. He's always happy and smiley. And he's putting a happy little cross in and a happy little shot on goal.
Juan Mata and the little happiness vibe.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard not to be happy when you're around Juan Emmanuel Mata. I have no clue if that's his middle name at all. And then Manchester United also signed a former Watford player. Do you guys remember? He was playing over there with Ron in China for a little bit. Odin Igalo.
Oh.
The Nigerian striker that played 1 season or 2 seasons, I want to say,
and he's freaking out because Man United's his boyhood club.
Yep, boyhood club. He was brought in on loan, a 6-month loan, was playing for, let me see who he was playing for in China. Ron, do you know that offhand by chance?
I don't. Hold on.
He was playing for, I got it right here, for Shanghai, Greenland.
Yeah, down with them.
Yep. And then played 3 seasons with Watford, where he had 82 appearances and 33 goals. And currently he is on loan with Manchester United. Very interesting signing, but with Rashford being down because of injury and not being able to pull off a couple of moves, they were going for Josh King down in Bournemouth. Couldn't quite get that deal over the line, so they switched gears and turned to Igalo, who... I
think this is better than them getting Josh King.
I know. I like Josh King.
I like Josh King.
That fit in with the transfer policy that they're going for. Young, homegrown in a way. Yes, he's Norwegian, but he's been in the England football system since he was a boy. That would have fit up well with the Greenwoods and Rashfords. Igalo is just exactly what it is. It's a 6-month loan. If he produces well, we can sign him. If he doesn't, he's gone in June, and that's it. Hopefully he bangs in some goals, get a chance to play, and then he goes back to China when hopefully by then he can actually get back into the country.
Hopefully you don't deal with what we have at Arsenal with what's his nuts from Real Madrid who ain't doing much.
Ceballos?
Yeah. I don't know if there was injuries and stuff.
He's kind of fallen off a little bit, hasn't he?
Yes. Ceballos and Pepe also very quiet.
Pepe's actually been pretty bright since Arteta's been.
But he doesn't get a ton of time. It's interesting.
Pepe? Yeah.
It's a weird. At this point, I'm like, just play Pepe and
Lacazette. And Aubameyang.
Lacazette.
Play all 3 of them.
Has been awful.
Play all 3 of them at the same time.
He's been awful.
I don't care. Play all 3 of them.
Put Martinelli in instead of Lacazette. I love the guy, but he is in one of those things that happens.
Play all 3 of them.
He is. We would have won the previous game. Man, he is. I don't know what's up with him, but he has lost all confidence. easy goals and right there in front of the box. He's sailing them over. I don't know. He did home slices.
Play all three of them. I like them all. You guys did, in the transfer window, did get some defensive help, which is nice. You got Cedric from Southampton, and you got Mari. I'm not sure where Pablo Mari came from. They came from a South American club team, Flamingo. And that should actually add some pretty solid defense for you guys. Yes, you do.
We need a midfielder type moving forward.
I think you need that, and that's probably what he'll go in for in the offseason. But definitely 2 defenders coming in are good signings for Arsenal. It's something that they needed.
You know what's going to secure us?
Midfielder, I think you'll definitely get in the summer.
Ron is going to secure us a bunch of draws from here until May.
Hey, better than losses.
That's what that's going to get us.
Better than losses. But you need some help back there, especially with the likes of Mustafi.
And Bellerin's still iffy on his injuries, but
David Luiz.
Yeah. David Luiz.
The Simpsons character brought to life.
Let's see. So I know we're bouncing all over this table in this conversation, but Ron, I have a question for you. Who is the bigger shock? Man City at 51 points or Tottenham at 37 for the season, from beginning of the season to now?
Tottenham at 37.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, boy, I don't.
Jose's bald now. Did you guys see that?
Jose, is he? Did you shave his head?
Google a picture of him right now, and I want your not live because this is obviously a recorded podcast, but your reaction to it.
They put
on air.
Pep.
It's weird.
Paul Merson claims Jose Mourinho regrets becoming Tottenham manager. That was the first thing that popped up when I started typing it. Yeah, no, I'd agree. Whoa.
Yeah.
He's like Pep's granddad. I am really happy at Tottenham, he says.
So why'd you cut your hair?
He said, Jose Mourinho reveals a mistake caused him to shave off all his hair.
What was the mistake?
Dude, you know.
Joining Tottenham?
No. You know, that poor barber, wherever he was at, he like flipped on. Just give me the clippers. And then
So here's the story. According to the Metro Sport reporter from metro.co.uk, the Tottenham manager revealed his drastic new look last week, just days after his Spurs beat Southampton in the FA Cup replay. The 57-year-old claims he decided to change his style after falling asleep while his hair was getting cut.
Oh, I wonder if he he fell asleep. I wonder if he dozed and it went
Please tell me there's like a security camera in that barber shop that can clearly show that.
That's even better because then that barber is he nods and it's like me. It's just like.
So in typical Mourinho style, he said, and I quote, "Sometimes I like to feel the cold weather and I like to change a little bit, but this time was not the case. This time I fell asleep. And I woke up and it was so bad that I told them to bring one clipper grade down because hopefully my hair will grow again."
Ron, I just got that article. Are you looking at the picture?
Oh.
Yes.
What's the picture?
The picture of the barber and Mourinho looks so
yes, he looks livid.
And the best is that he is now being called the shaven one.
The shaven one.
Yeah.
The bald one.
Oh my God. That is friggin' hysterical.
I want to say the Men in Blazers were kind of going off like, Jose, welcome to the bald family. Like,
oh, that's
my God, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't lay necessarily any of this on Jose's feet. He was inheriting. I said, I think you got to kind of see what Jose does next year with it. I mean, he obviously inherited a weird situation off of Poch that had just been so prolific at Tottenham. I would never have guessed 37 points. They're lucky.
They just beat Man City the last time out.
I don't think that's a big deal this year. A big deal last year.
It still is. I mean,
but here's the thing: they are lucky that this is the season it is, and that 37 points has them in 6. Because as we were just looking at the other, but they have just lost some. Well, them and Man City both have lost games they had no business losing. Tottenham worse though, so for that, real bad, just falling apart right there with Poch, and then Jose. I mean, well, who just left? Who transferred out? Of
Ericsson.
Tottenham. Ericsson
went to Inter Milan.
That's right, and that's a big deal.
Which Sarri has like every Premier League player that he wanted that he couldn't get at Chelsea.
Yep.
He has half of the United squad because Ashley Young went there in the winter transfer break. So that has Young, Sanchez, Lukaku, Eriksson.
So now you got...
And I'm missing, I think, one other, but you have 4 Premier League players all now at
Hashtag
Inter.
sorry, not sorry, and he's flipping us all off.
Forza Inter.
Yeah. as he flips us all off, but like there's a cigarette in between the middle finger and like
Exactly.
Yeah, and he's threatening to walk out the stadium door.
Yeah, it's just so nuts. Like I thought, man, Liverpool could be a team to beat, but this will be the best Premier League season ever with Man City and Liverpool and Tottenham all racing for the top. And I
had Tottenham winning the entire damn thing. It's interesting. And what is actually also very, very interesting and something that we haven't really talked about yet is the battle for the bottom there. You have Bournemouth, Villa, West Ham, and Watford all down there. Even Brighton, 27 points with Brighton, 26 for Bournemouth, 25 for Villa, 24 for West Ham, Watford at 24.
And then
that's
Norwich at the end.
That's a game between them.
Hey, buddy, Norwich at 18.
That's 2 games.
I'm just saying, at this season,
3 games.
Norwich they could still catch up.
No, Norwich is going down, period. There's no way that they're getting out of that. Watford and West Ham stand a chance. West Ham just changed. Did we talk about who's back for West Ham and who's back in the league yet?
We did
Guess
not.
who's back? Back again.
David Moyes is back again.
That good old Scotsman, he's back.
Yeah, he's something. Last time he was in the league was when? Oh, actually, he's back at West Ham, right? Because didn't he? He was at United, left. Went to Spain?
He's just one of those guys.
Then was at West Ham like 2 managers ago? Then they went through 2 managers?
He just keeps a bag packed, but he's always got a job.
Always. Yeah.
He's like the clap. Just when you think you got rid of him, he's back. But this time it's worse than before.
I do
Not
think...
that I've had the clap. I'm just...
I was saying, you talk from experience there?
Just talking from a friend.
You serious, Ron? Brighton Hove Albion could easily be, I mean, that's the thing. Any of these clubs that you're talking about, I still feel like, I know I'm partial to Bournemouth. I think they'll squeak this out. But
they've been getting some wins as of late. Up until the Sheffield win, they got a few on the bounce there, and they really needed that. And they're starting to get healthier again. They've been just marred with just injury after injury after injury. And if they can get some of those people back and start scoring the way that they know how, they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. And I think Eddie Howe's got to do better because when next season comes around, he's not going to have long before they get rid of him if it's the same kind of, if they start the same. I feel like he's on a ticking time clock if he doesn't turn.
If it carries over from this year to next year, yeah.
But any of these clubs could go down. I mean, Aston Villa, West Ham, man. I mean, that's a club that I thought this year, didn't you have them up kind of high?
I might have, yeah.
I just saw
with Haller, the signing, he hasn't really like gotten on yet. He got a few goals here and there, but he hasn't really done anything.
Another club I thought
Felipe Anderson's been quiet. I mean, it's interesting. Who did they bring in the window?
Oh, I forget. Well, Chicharito's heading over to MLS.
He is.
Yep.
He was formerly of West Ham, but I want to say they brought in somebody at the window that I thought was an interesting move that could possibly help them. Let me look it up real quick.
But Aston Villa has this ability to, if they can stay on the line, they have this ability to pull off these games here and there. They probably shouldn't. So I think if they don't get relegated, it's literally their 17th. I think they end up just above the line. I think Crystal Palace on up to, let's just go ahead and include Arsenal. That's only 4 points away. I think those clubs are probably good to go.
Oh, they got Jared Bowen from Hull City of the Championship for $23.43 million. And he is a very pacey scorer coming off the right wing that I believe will help them because he'll give them a little bit different dynamic than what West Ham has. So time will tell, but if he was banging in goals in the Championship, if he just gets a few for West Ham during, some important games where they need points, that could be a big signing for them.
again, to bounce around a bit, Everton, some of their players playing really well right now. Everton sitting at 7th.
It's players that they've always had.
I know, isn't that nuts?
Who's the change in that?
Well, your change is Carlos Ancelotti, man.
Absolutely.
Which just sounds like a delicious dish, enchilada. You want some enchilada?
Oh,
yeah.
With pesto. Sounds fantastic.
But a little grated parm on top.
But they have been fun to watch.
They've been fun to watch. They've been scoring goals. Even, what was it, the game they played on Saturday against... Oh, Lord, I can't remember, but they...
Oh, hold for show.
Crystal Palace.
Literally right here. Yeah, Crystal Palace.
Right. They had a 3-1 win. It really wasn't a 3-1 win. They didn't really play that well. They got it. And Ancelotti, you can tell, wasn't really happy. He's like, I expect more. I want more. And we didn't have that in this game. We got to win, yes. We'll take that, but we have a lot to improve on.
Ancelotti could certainly, well, look, the way the points are right now, he could certainly get into Europe. Look, the only club above him is right now is Tottenham for that 6th spot. They can beat Tottenham. Ancelotti is certainly could possibly put Everton in the Europa for next year.
Maybe.
But certainly going into next year, I expect them to be a lot better.
Yeah, I agree too. And I think they were my pick this year to do very, very well because of the signings they had with Moise Kean, and there's a right back thrown in there and a few others. But with Ancelotti, he really ups them and puts them into what can possibly be Europe contention. I have to check because I think there might not be 2 places for the Europa League this year for Premier League. It might only be 1 and 5th. I got to double check that. Or like 6 of the qualifier.
That could be correct.
But anyways, he's brought them up. He's gotten goals back. They're at a -4 still. They're the only ones in the top 9 that are on a minus goal difference, but they've gotten some big wins. And where they don't have as many draws, they have a lot. They have 10 wins, I believe, over Arsenal's 6 on the year. So those wins, where Arsenal gets the draw in 1 point, Everton, as of late, have gotten 3 points, and that definitely has propelled them up a little bit. I think they'll end probably somewhere in that 7 through 10 range when it's all said and done. But Ancelotti, you just cannot... And that a club like Everton got him too, that's what they've been needing all along.
Between the Arsenal talk about Ancelotti, I was really glad it broke down like it did to get Ancelotti at Everton and Arteta at Arsenal. I think both of those were good fits for the clubs, and I think it'll make the Premier League more fun next year.
I think they're good fits for the clubs at the time. I think if Arteta gets brought in, let's go Ancelotti. Like Ancelotti,
he's older, so he's not.
He's older, but if he gets brought in at the end of the year, I think it's still a good signing. If Arteta's taking Arsenal in on the off season, it's still good, but you're wondering why they waited that long, and you're wondering why
they didn't hire him the first time because they could have.
Correct.
Well,
so I mean, now you kind of pulled the trigger fast on Emery and went, okay, we realize that that's not going to work. We need to move fast to build something for the future.
Hey, what about
here's what we're going to do, and they did it.
Guys, what about the name that won't die? Do you guys know the rumor that's floating around right now?
No.
Seriously? Ron, you haven't heard about the Arsenal rumor?
There's too many of them.
Arsene Wenger being talked to about taking a leadership role at the club. No, not as a manager.
No.
Like football director.
Stad
Dude, I'm just saying. Just saying. It never dies. It's like,
I don't know. You just hired a new manager, and out of all the managers that are in the Premier League right now, your manager, Blake, is the one you give a 3-year deal to, and you let them go for 3 years.
Sure. It worked for Klopp.
Yeah.
Well, not only did it work for Klopp, but it also worked for Pep.
What I would like to see, to be honest, though, I would love to see Arsene brought in on the board, because I think the upper leadership at Arsenal is a problem. That would actually be cool. Not to interfere in the sense of like as a football director, something like that, but actually be on the board. Their ownership
can be on the board and not interfere.
Well, you need someone to fight Kroenke, man. That situation is just It sucks. And there are more than a few clubs. Chelsea's got that with Abramovich that just have owners that are like, God, you're in such the way of things. You know what I mean? Like it's so obvious that it's where it's not affecting Liverpool right now. In that kind of situation. Kroenke sucks.
Well, only time will tell.
He
NFL?
He was the St. Louis Rams, so now it's the LA Rams. Yeah. And it's the only thing he cares about is getting Super Bowl. It's pretty obvious. He doesn't really care about anything else.
Interesting times in the Premier League.
I'll ask one last question. It could derail us a bunch.
Go on.
More so than Ferris. But Ron and Ferris, if the season kind of continues as it is, little up, little down for Man United, is Andy Serkis the coach next year? Is Gollum the coach? Do you keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Is he the manager?
That's funny you say that, because I was thinking just a moment ago, out of the top 10, which team is the most likely to have a new manager come next season? And the only team that came to mind for me was Manchester United.
Of the current top 10,
they're the only ones.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But I don't have a strong agree. And here's what I mean. If Pochettino does not go back into the Premier League, I'm not entirely sure Ole doesn't start the season out, because I don't know if there's a get. I don't know if there's a... If he just tanks,
there's another name out there.
Right. If it just tanks, yes, I think they'd get rid of him. But I just mean if it kind of just stays where it is, will they give him...
I think he stays. If they stay where they're at, he'll stay. If they start going lower and they end outside the top 10...
Don't worry, Arsenal's there. You'll be fine. We'll keep you out of the top 10.
Thank you.
Or we'll keep you in the top 10.
Thank you. You could see Andy Serkis going. I think so far I have been impressed with what Ole is trying to do. I just don't know if he's smart enough to do it and pull it out in the end. What I mean by that is his tactical knowledge of the game, is his awareness of the game, is his substitutions of the game, is all that smart enough to be a top level manager at one of the biggest clubs in the world and one of the biggest leagues in the world. So far, we haven't seen that. And the answer is definitely no on all of those. What we have seen is him wanting to, and what I'm impressed with, he's been wanting to build something at United. It has a very clear understanding of what he wants to build, which is young talent for the future. We've seen that so far.
Game.
Right. It's a long game, and I'm okay with that. If it has the payoff in the end. And that's what I don't know, because I think he may be the setup guy in this scenario where he builds that and then Poch comes in and finishes them off. You could see that with Maguire, Bissaka, James, Fernandez all coming in very young. Galu is the only one that's not. That's a 6-month loan, so he's just kind of we need somebody in now that can possibly play up front, because Rashford's going to be out until April. And then going into the off seasons, there was a news report come out just a couple days ago that Jack Grealish really wants a United move. There's that young homegrown talent. You go in for James Maddison as well, and if those are our two signings in the off season, I'll take it. And that's really building a core there.
What do you think, Ron? Would he stay if they stay where they are?
If they stay where they are, I think you keep them. If they tumble, you fire them early. Yes. Because if you don't fire them early, you're going to waste the entire summer transfer. And that's going to impact the beginning of your next season.
And then you're just doing it all over again.
Right. So if they are, if they improve, you keep them. If they don't, but I don't think. So I agree with Ferris that, Ole is probably the builder of something and someone else is going to finish it. I just don't think it's Pochettino, because that guy couldn't finish a beer. I don't think that guy is coming into, a Manchester United to win trophies based off someone else's work.
By the way, thank you for that segue, because Ferris and I both need another beer.
Yeah.
That was hysterical. But I agree. I think if Poch was going to be in the Premier League, it would have happened. I think, man.
Has jobs been open since he's been sacked?
No, I just mean
was Everton's jobs open?
But they could have been. Yeah, they could have been. You know what I'm saying? Like, Man United could have said later, dude. Later, Ole. We got.
Yeah, but if you're sticking with your guy, I think it's a smart call not to just go with the shiny object.
I talked about this in our prior pod. Does Poch stay so long that he tarnishes? It hurts him getting his next job. Like things get so bad at Tottenham.
No, to be honest, I think he stayed at that club and was loyal to that club for everything they gave him. He really did bring Tottenham kind of out of the basement for a while. He just couldn't finish it, right? And so I think it's not that he outlived his welcome. It's that he just kept trying to fix it. And it's one of those things that, it's like quicksand. The more you move around, the faster you sink. Right. And that was just the circumstance he had at the end at Tottenham. And, I agree with Ferris. There hasn't been that many jobs open for him. But I still don't think he's top flight, like upper echelon, top 4 every time winning trophies, so that's why I don't think he can come in after a manager builds him the building blocks and then he goes in to finish it. He's also not proven in the past how many ever years that he can coach the game well enough in a final that that's worth silverware. They haven't been in one so long. So,
well, they were in the Champions League last year.
Right. I mean, they went to the final.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that on him because there was an early pen there that just threw the game awry, and that's more on the player than it is tactics.
They were going to beat Liverpool.
Yeah, but good teams find a way to win. Good coaches do miracles to help their teams. And if this was a single time for Pochettino, I'd agree with you that it was more of a player problem. But what has Tottenham done in the past 5 years to win silverware?
Well, that's the first time that they've been anywhere in contention for silverware.
That's exactly my point. So just write Pochettino off for a bit. He's got to go figure some stuff out. He's got to go heal. He's got to go find and, take his frustrations out at another club and then come back. Right. I don't think he's coming back to.
He's like a really bad, dad or husband. Like he's got to go take his frustration out at another club and then he'll come back.
Yeah.
He's got to go out for a pack of cigarettes.
I think honestly, he's got to go out and find out why the game is fun for him again. He's in the end of Tottenham, he was never jumping up and down and being his exciting self that he was, 3 years prior. Not that he was all that animated to begin with, but, he was definitely much more animated than he was toward the end at Tottenham. And I think he just kind of slowly bled out at Tottenham. And now he needs to go find another club, find his passion again, and find what he brings to a football club, and then go back to a club and say, all right, I'm going to take on the world now. But I just don't think, and this is all complete conjecture on my part. I have no idea what the guy actually feels, but he just always looked so sad. And if you are the person who's supposed to be motivating all these people and you don't have motivation yourself, you're really not going anywhere. So just my thought.
No, I don't think your think your conjecture is off. I mean, he certainly was not having fun and it was miserable and didn't look like he knew
because they weren't winning.
Yeah, but it just also didn't look like he was trying to make something happen like he had prior. He was just done with him.
We also did. I mean, you had the Eriksson situation going on, the Alderweireld situation going on. There wasn't really any signings. Bergwijn looks like a good signing, but it's almost like Mourinho said, "Hey, open up the pocketbooks here, a bit." I think I agree with Ron. I think Poch just needs to figure some stuff out first, but he will be back in the Premier League, and the more time that he's away from the Premier League, the more times he will be the odds-on to get whatever job is next. Where his legacy or lack thereof, almost, because he hasn't won anything, but for how much the English media likes him, will continue to grow, and he'll be the odds-on for any job that opens up in the next.
They do like him.
6 months.
They do like him.
Did that answer your question there, Blake?
Yeah, that was a good one. You guys, those are good. Those are good. That's all I got. We can move on to the La Liga Roundup if we're done with the Premier League. Or as I like to call it, Liverpool's League and everybody else.
I don't want to call it that.
Well, just wait till the documentaries drop, and that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I'll watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives or something like that. I love that show, by the way. Anyways, moving along. The La Liga's Roundup. We haven't had one of these. We didn't have one on Boxing Day. That was on a little bit of a hiatus. That was on a winter break. So it is back, and there's a lot to talk about in the...
some fun matches.
Right. A little bit reminder, the La Liga's Roundup includes the Bundesliga, La Liga, Ligue 1, and Serie A. So your German, Spain, France, and Italy leagues. Enter stage right, 19-year-old Erling Haaland to the Bundesliga scene.
Big one.
Yes.
And an immediate impact.
Immediate. After a hat-trick. Thank you, Ron. After a hat-trick on his debut against Augsburg, he followed that up with another 2 goals in his second match against FC Cologne, making him the first Bundesliga player to score 5 goals in his opening 2 games, as well as the fastest player to reach that tally in only 56 minutes of playtime. He was on fire. That first game, he came in as a sub in the second half and almost scored a natural hat trick. There was a Sancho goal in between them before he scored his third, but he has been the number 9 that Dortmund have really wanted. And he had his choice. He looked at United, he looked at a few others, and in the end, he went to Dortmund. And
well, let's be honest. He looked at United.
Would you go to United?
Well, true. I'm going to go to Dortmund.
And Dortmund's style of play and how they kind of cultivate that young talent over the several years is really a testament to why they have been so successful and why they have just continued to pump out talent like Lewandowski and Götze. And I mean, you could Mkhitaryan, Kagawa, Pulisic. I mean, you can kind of go on with all of the players that have been pumped out of Dortmund. Gundogan. I mean, to go there is a very smart choice, and this is what they've been needing. This is something that Sancho has been needing to play off of there. That Brandt and some of the other players for Dortmund have wanted is that true number 9, and he looks like he's going to be a player for them for a while. Despite those impressive numbers, though, Dortmund's new number 9, they still sit in third in the Premier League table, in the Bundesliga table on 39 points, with the current champions sitting back atop of the table on 43 points after match week 21. Current champions being that of Bayern Munich. RB Leipzig, though, are right in the mix, though, as well as they have even hold Bayern to a 0-0 draw on the weekend.
One of those fun 0-0 games.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And RB Leipzig have looked really solid all year. I think they're going to continue to contend for the top spot. They have, their number 9. His name just completely left me. But he's been banging in the goals all year. I cannot remember it to save my life. He's been playing very, very well, and to hold Bayern, who have been on a really good streak as of late, to a 0-0 draw is huge, and actually helped out Dortmund as they were up, or they were down, they were up, they went back down, and they ended up losing the game 4-3 on the weekend. And then, of course, Borussia Mönchengladbach remain in 4th, tied with Dortmund on 39 points. So the Bundesliga battle for the top is really heating up in the second part of the year. And if you do not have Fox or a way to watch it, definitely tune in on your Saturdays, Sundays, and sometimes Fridays to watch those matches.
Fox kept that, right?
No. This is the last year.
That's right.
Moves to ESPN.
That is right. I forgot about that. That's actually kind of a shame. Fox has done a good job.
Yes, they have. I agree with you. I would like to keep it on Fox because you have your different things that you can.
Here's my prediction now. If it's on ESPN, there'll be no pregame. The game will just start and it'll just end.
Yep.
And they won't talk about it. That's my biggest problem.
I agree. I like Fox's coverage.
I do not understand ESPN's lack of pimping their soccer out. Like, why are they paying the rights to have? I don't understand it.
Well, maybe they're going to change that. Only time will tell. Now that, arguably soccer is much more popular than when the last time ESPN had it, where it was very.
Yeah, but they still have MLS right now.
They have 3 leagues. They have MLS, Serie A.
Yeah, but who's really counting the MLS?
Oh man, that's a whole other pod we still got to talk about.
Yeah, true.
I'm telling you,
the MLS previews coming up here real soon.
Yeah,
they've got to work out some TV issues, let alone stadium issues with Nashville. Have you seen this? Where now if they don't have a stadium start production by March something, they don't get the MLS.
Inter Milan may lose
some issues.
Not Inter Milan. Inter Miami may lose their right to be called Inter Milan because Inter Milan is actually in a court battle with them and they have won their first
I hope Inter Milan wins. Why call it Inter Miami? It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Just Miami FC.
Yes.
Simple.
Sporting Miami.
Miami FC, man.
South Beach FC.
Or it's MLS. So I'm surprised it's not in Miami United.
The Tony Montana's FC. I don't care. Call whatever you want.
Marinos FC.
Yeah, right. But yeah, definitely watch the Bundesliga. It is a lot of fun. And go Dortmund. Moving over to La Liga, Real Madrid stay atop of the Liga table on 52 points after match week 23, while Barcelona remain in second on 49 points after squeaking by Real Betis 3-2 on the weekend. For Barca, though, this comes on the back of a public bust-up between Lionel Messi and former teammate and now Barcelona sporting director Eric Albiol in the midweek. Messi took to Instagram to defend himself and teammates, calling out Albiol for criticizing players for their role in the Ernesto Valverde's sacking. It kind of blew up because since then there has been a lot of speculation over Messi's future and possible move away from the Catalonian club in the summer. This has been all over the latest soccer reports, and while his deal doesn't end
LA
until
Galaxy, here he comes.
Yeah, right. Right, he's not quite old enough to go there yet. But while his deal doesn't end until 2020, he does have a certain clause. Or no, his deal doesn't end until 2021. He has a certain clause that this summer he can leave without penalty. So that's quite interesting. Something to keep an eye on, because while he is a Barcelona boy all the way, and you can see him starting and ending his career there, this bust up could have something to do with it. So
that centipede's alive today. Wishing to God they had a left foot like that, man.
No clue what that's from.
It's like, what's that guy's name? He was on beIN Sports Forever, the commentator that was always so funny. Yeah. Like he's like he's like a Dr. Spock. He's out of his Vulcan mind.
Oh no, he's still on beIN Sports, and he's on Ray Hudson.
Ray Hudson, there you go.
Yeah, he's on
Ray Hudson.
Ray Hudson. He's on Sirius XM on some.
Centipede's going to bed tonight, praying to God they had a foot like that.
What was the one? That ball's had more curves than Jessica Rabbit or something like that. I was he is such a good quotes.
Oh, he's the best.
He is color commentary.
Yes, he is, and in every sense of those words.
Get him ESPN.
Oh my gosh, get him just narrating my life. Be amazing. Elsewhere in the league, though, Getafe sit in third in the table, while struggling Atletico Madrid still sit in fourth. Madrid's on 39 points. Getafe's somewhere in between there. I think they're a little bit higher up, but to see Getafe up there in third and Madrid, the other Madrid down there in fourth, that could change by the end of the year. But La Liga, between the Real Madrid and Barca going back and forth, not a great deal of drama happening over there.
But usually there isn't, right? It's usually the top one or two teams and then everyone else. Yeah, well, you've had Atletico Madrid cause some havoc in the past few years with the Diego Simeone and Griezmann effect. Since Griezmann's went over to Barcelona, though,
he doesn't look the same player. He hasn't produced the same. And Atletico Madrid, while they looked good in preseason, and Joao Felix and Hector Herrera and these new signings, and who was the boy that used to play at Chelsea that got sent off every game?
Costa,
and even the one that was there for a year, scored a couple goals, and then couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. What was his name, Ron? Morata.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Alvaro
Okay.
Morata.
Right.
Yeah, they're both there.
Wait, he was on Chelsea?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that was my thought.
Exactly. So they have plenty of talent there, but man, losing their big defender Diego something was a big loss for them. But you would have thought they would have been battling up there, especially when Madrid maybe not so good this year. Everybody thought Barca was going to kind of run away with it. Yet they sit in second and Madrid sit in first. It's an interesting year in La Liga, but not necessarily a drama-filled year. Moving over to France, PSG are, of course, still first in the French League.
Speaking of same as always, yeah.
That's one of those no shit, Clark. On 61 points with a plus 46 goal difference. This week, however, was filled with some drama after Kylian Mbappe had a sideline spat with manager Thomas Tuchel during a previous week 5-0 defeat over Montpellier. Yes, I said Mbappe, not Neymar, because you would have thought drama would follow Neymar more so than, which he's another one that just got a new haircut. He went the Jose way and just got his head shaved.
Gotta quit falling asleep in the barber chair.
Exactly. All in all, though, the spat seemingly had little effect on the team as they handled their business on the field accordingly on Sunday with a 4-2 defeat over Olympique Lyonnais. Marseille, Stade Reims, and Lille all round out the top 4 in the league after 24 games played. So if you want to watch the French league, go ahead, but odds are PSG are going to win the entire thing.
If you want to watch PSG, go ahead.
Exactly, yeah. Now, moving over to what is a really exciting year right now in the Serie A. This past weekend, the Milan Derby closed it out in style with an absolute bang as Inter came from behind to win 4-2.
We just lost Ron.
Okay.
I was like, what was that noise?
Hey, we're just talking about the Milan Derby.
Yeah.
Damn Canadians.
Oh, man. Canada's lost its weight.
Watching your hockey, eh?
Well, yeah. Everybody in the house is streaming hockey. All right, we'll see if Ron calls back.
Join FaceTime call. We just got a text of that. I guess I could try.
We're going to try again. Hey, it worked that time.
Hey, there you go.
That was hysterical.
Welcome back.
I'll mark that down.
Sorry about that, gents.
No, it's okay. We were starting making fun of Canada's Wi-Fi. It was fine.
Where did you drop the line there?
Just the 5-0 defeat.
So you'd wrapped up that. So moving on to
so you kind of missed the Mbappe and
Serie A.
Neymar stuff. But anyways, moving on to Serie A. The Milan Derby closed out this past weekend in the Serie A with an absolute bang as Inter come from behind to win 4-2 against AC Milan. This despite Zlatan's return to the Derby. It was Inter's day in the end as they scored all 4 of their goals in the second half despite being down 2-0 at half. One game that I really wanted to watch, but I didn't actually get the chance to, but caught the highlights and wished I would have watched it because it turned out to be one for the ages. It was an interesting dynamic, and AC Milan didn't want the half to end. I think Zlatan scored in like the 46th minute, 47th of injury time in the first half. And in the second half, it was just all Inter. They had 4 different scorers with Lukaku scoring the 4th, and they just looked a completely different team. And I don't know if this is smart or dumb from Romelu Lukaku, but after the game came out and said there's a new king in town, basically referring to, although Zlatan's back,
wow,
he's washed up in a way, if you want to read into that.
Lukaku,
quote.
do we want to?
I don't know if we want to.
Be careful with that.
I think Lukaku needs to be a better player before he starts writing, son, You're writing checks your mouth can't cash.
Boom. Is there a Belgian equivalent to that? Yes. That is seriously like, yeah.
That's it. I don't know if I'd piss off that line because Zlatan will whoop his ass in a second.
Boot to the head.
Exactly. And like Lukaku's doing, he's having himself a hell of a year in Serie A, and he's scoring goals. He's playing very well. He's almost reminiscent of his Everton days.
Man United's like oh
what
my
the
God.
hell? Yeah.
Where
like what the
this?
hell?
Yeah.
Where the hell was this? So, anyways, Lukaku not the sharpest tool in the shed there with that comment, but nonetheless, though, this was certainly a derby classic for the ages, as it now sees Inter Milan atop of the Serie A table, tied with the Juventus on 54 points. It's only because
that's a fun one.
Yes, it is, and it's because Juve lost this past weekend to Hellas Verona 2-1, I believe. It was an uncharacteristic loss for them, but Cristiano Ronaldo at 35 years old continues to break records.
It's ridiculous.
And is now holds the longest consecutive scoring streak in Juventus history with 10 goals, passing David Trezeguet from several years back. That man's 35 years old and has scored in the past 10 games. And breaks yet another record at one of the most storied clubs in all of Europe and the world. The old lady is happy to have him.
He's terrible.
I know, right?
He just got a haircut too. He's man bunning it, I think, now.
That's gross.
Yeah, that's worse. That's a worse Cristiano Ronaldo.
But look at him. He still looks fantastic. It's weird. He's like a David Beckham or Brad Pitt, where like any hairstyle, he's just gonna look good. And you're like, damn it. Like,
Brad Pitt with his first Oscar. Speaking of
supporting role, is that what he got yesterday?
Yeah.
Has anybody seen Parasite, by the way?
I have not, but I have several friends that have, and they all say it is flipping amazing
and worth it winning all of that.
And saying, don't learn anything about it, just go see it. It's better that way.
Just go see it. Is it in theaters?
No,
it's on Netflix.
It's is it on Netflix? I know it's on Amazon to rent.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I didn't see it on either yesterday.
Check if it's not. Although Ron, you're in Canada
today,
but you have different Netflix than we do. It's different. You have different rights, which is frustrating. You might have stuff we don't have.
Yeah, maybe. You could be right.
But you can rent it for like cheap, for like $4 or whatever on Amazon too, if you want to. But I heard it's really, really good. Everybody said it's really good. But to not know anything about it.
I don't see it on Netflix.
They just keep saying, don't just watch it. That's all you got.
Okay.
But if you've seen The Host or Snowpiercer, dudes, it makes amazing movies.
All right.
Yeah.
Good for Parasite.
Okay.
Slightly off topic there.
We're working on our Brewtiful Oscar podcast.
Yep. Me and my mom watched it last night. This is what me and my mom do.
Here's a preview of the pod.
Preview of the pod. We get back from watching the Florida Orchestra do some James Bond songs, which is fantastic.
That's cool.
Come home. We have a shot.
Fun.
We have a beer. We start watching the Oscars. Then we start commenting on how many people up there, particularly ladies, have had so much work done to their face that they don't even look the same. They can barely talk or barely open their eyes.
Oh, people will go up there and like, faces don't, like fresh Botox.
You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Who won best?
Renee Zellweger?
Yes.
Yeah. Renee Zellweger does not look like she did when she did Bridget Jones' Diary. Back in the day.
She does not.
Or Jerry Maguire. And I don't mean like in a sexist, you got older way. No, I mean like her face has stopped moving.
Yes.
And
she could barely open her eyes from how much Botox she has poured around those things or whatever.
I could just do a whole pod ranting about the fact that Disney won an Academy Award for Toy Story 4, which we just literally had watched 2 days ago because the little one wanted to see it. I was like, that was the most pointless sequel I've ever seen in my entire life.
What did they win it for?
Best animated film. And it was
seriously?
Exactly.
Wow.
Guys, our Brewtiful Oscar podcast is going to be hot. Check it out. It's coming soon.
I'm going to be the cynical one in the corner. Fuck the Oscars.
I don't care. It was just that one. The Toy Story one made me mad, and I only paid attention to that particular category because, little one wanted to see it. She likes Buzz Lightyear, so we cut it on. And that movie ended, and immediately we're like, that's bad, right? Like, it's not, I can't. I could do this for an hour. I won't start. The movie bothered me.
I did see some of them on this. Usually, like, you watch the Oscars, you're like, I didn't see half of those damn things. Yeah. Saw The Joker. Thought that was very, very good. Dark. Not what you think. Very dark, but good.
Yeah, I've heard good stuff about
what's his name? Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, Joaquin.
Yep. He won. I think that was great. Got a little lost there on his speech. He was kind of going all over the place with like humanitarian efforts.
His speech is a lot like his acting.
He always gets all over the place. Do you remember when he did the movie where he played like a weird rapper and then he stayed in character and like went on the Tonight Show with David or went on the and made him so angry because he played as that character. It's so he is a character.
Yeah, he's a character. Yeah. And then I did see The Irishman as well. The 2 days and 4 hour
Irishman
movie.
Was
How
awesome.
many times did you fall
I did
asleep?
like it, but it was just very long.
It was long. We didn't fall asleep. We started it. Knew it was 3.5 hours. Karen and I were gonna like stop it halfway point.
When did you watch it though? I strategically planned it so where I knew I wouldn't fall asleep.
No, we started it like 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, really?
To plan to like stop it
halfway in the fall.
And instead, all these old mobsters keep drinking like scotches and drinks, and we were like, I want a bourbon. so then we started making like mobster drinks. And we kept saying like, you want to stop it? No, we can watch a little bit more. And then we're like, okay, there's only 40 minutes left. Let's just finish it. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I did too. I enjoyed
Joe
it.
Pesci, old Joe Pesci.
Oh, fantastic. He was fantastic in that.
He was scary.
Agree. He was scary. He was fantastic in that. He was Marlon Brando scary in like The Godfather, where like you knew
who he was.
You knew he couldn't do anything then, but he did shit back then.
He was Jose Mourinho scary.
Well, he was Jose Mourinho scary when he's at Chelsea. Not now.
He's Jose Mourinho if you cut his hair wrong. I feel like that's how
Joe Pesci. That's really harsh to say.
You go, oh God, is he going to kill me? You saw that picture?
Yeah.
That barber thought he was dead. Jose's face.
The guy that took it Pesci than I would
is like, can I take a picture too? Barber's like, don't. Joe's like, it's okay. And his friend goes, I just want to take a picture before you die, buddy. I'm gonna get this.
Right.
I'm gonna get this right.
I want to capture this picture so 20 years from now
it's
I can
called
tell
proof.
Your widow what
a court of law. And I'm starting to watch the Two Popes. The one with
Anthony Hopkins.
Yes, Anthony Hopkins.
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
And the one guy that was actually up for the actor, Pierce. Jonathan Pierce. Yeah.
That sounds like a bar joke.
Two popes walk into a bar.
Exactly.
Walk into a bar.
Oh.
Well, it derailed us.
Yeah, it did. Where the hell were we?
Well, I mean, I think it kind of moves us out of where we were in Europe.
Well, no, hold on. The Serie A race, it's fun.
The two popes, Italy. Boom, we're back in.
Yes, exactly. We are Rome. Yes. A Roman team's not in there, but well, actually, no, lies. Lazio sitting third, 1 point behind the two atop. So between Juve, Inter, and Lazio, that is going to be one hell of a race for the Scudetto. So thank you, Two Popes. Now we've ended our La Liga's roundup.
And now we got something that can bring us all together. And that is the U.S. women's national team are awesome.
As usual.
And they're going to Tokyo.
Going to Tokyo after scoring 22 goals and 0 conceded in their CONCACAF qualifying Champions tournament that they do.
3-0 win to Canada. Good win.
The toughest competition they've played the entire time, but yes, a very solid win. Goal there by Haran Williams, and I'm missing the other one, but Haran had herself a great qualifying time. Williams had a good one as well. A little Ali Krieger playing center back in there, which is interesting. And congrats to Ali Krieger and Ashlyn Harris. They got married not too long ago. I think we haven't done a pod since then.
Oh man, the Instagram was amazing.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that worked great.
But yeah, the U.S. continue, and have we talked about Jill Ellis?
Have we talked about the fact that they are just trashing Jill Ellis now?
I haven't seen a whole lot of that yet, but
was it Lloyd?
Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I don't think Jill Ellis was the most popular amongst the players, but she definitely got the results, so she was doing something right.
No,
there's a lot of going back and forth about Jill Ellis, and to be honest, there always was. I think what's interesting now is the going back and forth on Carly Lloyd, who isn't looking all that great in the press for her, recent remarks as of 2 weeks ago, where she's.
You talking about the one that's January 30th, right? That was the article.
Yeah, I think so. Where she's basically kind of comes across as kind of spoiled and kind of brattish. You on one hand, you can kind of understand and relate because, she's at the top of her game and she's got oodles of confidence. So, she doesn't want to settle for, a non-starting second best kind of role. But on the other hand, you're a part of a team. And while other players may not have been happy with their role, like Ali Krieger, they all put in for the team. So she's kind of standing out in some good ways, and Krieger she's actually standing out in some bad ways.
Krieger actually contributed and did really well. Mm-hmm. But Carly Lloyd, she just was saying that I would not be, I wouldn't have played for the U.S. Women's National Team for the Olympics without a coaching change. And she's kind of making that clear.
Right.
So
it's a bit harsh.
It is. I mean, Jill Ellis, you could, I don't know the situation. So this isn't me throwing judgment, but I will also say this. As long as you don't screw it up with the players that Jill Ellis had, you should have won that World Cup. That was a really good team.
Yeah, but to win it back to back, that's not easy, especially with the level of talent that the other teams in the World Cup this past year has had. And this was by far the toughest World Cup that any of the previous teams have gone through.
That's true.
And I think she definitely got the most out of the players. She also made some really critical substitutions and changes throughout, and gave a lot of confidence in Rose Lavelle and a few others that really stepped up for her when it came into. So she was doing something right, but I don't think she was the most popular amongst.
But I'll give a great, SB Nation did an article January 29th, and it's kind of alluding to what Ron's talking about too about it. But the headline of the article, I'll give you the headline, and then I'll give you their what's the byline or the subtitle of it. And it's actually great. It sums it up perfectly. The headline is, what the heck is the U.S. Women's National Team supposed to do with Carly Lloyd? The subtitle is, Carly Lloyd doesn't fit the U.S. Women's National Team's current lineup. She's delusional, but she also scores clutch goals. And that's true.
What other player does this kind of sound like, though?
Zlatan?
For the U.S.
Oh, sorry.
For the U.S. Women's National Team. They used to play for the U.S. Women's National Team.
You think a little of, oh, God. Yep, I'm with you. Why can't I think of her name?
Hope Solo.
Thank you. It's like,
I don't think Carly's as much of choose my words here carefully, as much of a-hole as Hope Solo was or has been in the past. I think it's a different mindset on where she's coming from with that. But
well, yeah, Carly Lloyd carries a supreme uber arrogance that I will not say isn't warranted. She is very good,
and it's more game related with her, where sometimes Hope Solo did a lot of outside of and products of the game, where there was reactions to Sweden, there's reactions to this, reactions to various number of things, and being very critical and
bring up Hope Solo again, because that's the angriest we've all ever had a pod together before. Do you remember that, Ron?
Hope Solo one?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, you're right.
It fired up, and I can't remember the details, but there was heated discussions. It was wonderful.
We're gonna go back and listen to that one. I think it was the last time we were in the Olympics with the Sweden loss. Was that what caused it?
Was it maybe following all that? I can't remember. I'd have
It was
to go back.
following all that.
Yeah.
It was following
I just
all
know
that.
that like the pod ended and we were all red faced and like grabbing another beer at the kitchen afterwards going, that was so much fun. We all just yelled at each other for an hour.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the U.S. women's national team is, of course, killing it. I have an interesting stat here. What do you guys think the U.S. women's national team record all time versus Canada is?
Oh, can you give us how many times
they haven't
met?
lost any? I don't think.
They have met 60 times, 6-0.
I'm imagining that they've won 50 and drawn 10. My guess.
I don't think we've lost to Canada, have we?
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm going to go 49 wins, 10 draws, 1 loss.
Well, you guys are both really close. 50 wins, 3 draws, 7 losses.
Oh,
right.
I had the 50 wins, but
Right.
yeah, so 7 losses. What the hell are we doing?
Yep.
It's 60 games.
A lot of games.
Yep.
And sure, you'd have games when it was more exhibition and not qualifying and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, this is, an all-time, every time we've ever met them for anything, that's our record.
They do come gunning for us.
But the U.S. has won all 4 Olympic qualifying tournament title games that it's played against Canada. So Canada's had the big goose egg in the tournament title games against the U.S.
But Canada also going to Tokyo.
Yep. The U.S. women's national team is 23-0-1 all time in Olympic qualifying and has scored 123 goals while only allowing 3.
Jeez. That's all time, you said?
Uh-huh.
Good Lord.
That's
stat.
pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is.
And another fun one, the U.S. has scored 91 goals since last conceding in Olympic qualifying competition 4,320 days ago in the 116th minute of the 2008 tournament final against Canada.
Do we have all the teams that are playing? I've got a list, but on FIFA for the Women's Olympic Football Tournament for Tokyo. Is it finished? What I've got is Brazil, Canada, Great Britain, Japan, Netherlands, New Zealand, Sweden, and USA. God, that's a good run.
No, because you have an odd number.
So Brazil, Canada, Great Britain, Japan, Netherlands, New Zealand, Sweden, USA. No, wait, it's even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But that's not enough, right? Preliminaries. Cameroon and Zambia will compete in the 5th and final round of qualifiers for Ticket Tokyo. So they still got to play. Final round, home and away leg playoff will take place on the 5th and 10th of March. Asia, penultimate round of qualifiers in Australia and Korea Republic. 7 teams are still vying for a spot. Group A is Korean Republic, Vietnam, Myanmar. Group B, Australia, China, Thailand, Chinese Taipei. So top 2 teams from each group will advance to the final round. We played on home away to see who's going. So there's still some Japan is the only qualified team out of Asia currently. Out of Europe, let's see, France served as qualified. I think that is done because you've got Great Britain, Sweden, and Netherlands. North America, USA, Canada, Oceania, you got New Zealand, South America, Brazil has qualified. So yeah, so we still got some matches left to go. But man, that is a heck of a lineup though for the Olympics. Those are going to be competitive.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be such a fun tournament.
July 25th, 4th. That's kickoff, I believe, for the Olympics when it's all said and done. Just around the corner when things are a little barren for soccer.
And the MLS will be firmly going then.
Yes, it will be because they're not on the international schedule. But we'll get to that when we get to the MLS
Lord, not again.
playoff, and I can complain about that again. And talk
And we
about
can
how
we can also
dumb.
sorry guys.
No, that's all.
We can also talk about, are the New Jerseys good?
Ours is not. Some of them are, though. I agree with
I feel like Seattle
whoever on that one.
looked good. A couple of them
I don't know.
looked good, but others didn't.
But
I was not
do
impressed
we
with ours.
like the whole league wide? They all have to look the same.
I don't.
I do like that. I like the thought behind it. What I don't like is the bear claw of 3 slashes going across all of the right shoulders that Adidas did. Like, I get they're trying to do they're like a normal Adidas stripes, but I don't know if that bear claw effect was wise to go with this anniversary one. I mean, definitely sets it apart because I don't think we've seen it in any other jersey that far, so far, but I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish MLS was like Premier League and different companies could sport different clubs. And so you'd have more variety.
Not big enough yet.
Yeah. Not big enough.
Nope.
No. I hate it. I miss Arsenal's being part of Puma. Puma had better selections. The Arsenal jersey's fine, but as far as the extra stuff, Puma just had I like their hats and stuff.
Who's going to Puma next year? Is it Liverpool or are they going to Nike?
They are going to Nike, right? Yeah, from New Balance. Yeah. They dropped New Balance.
They were,
Yeah. The shoe of serial killers. Just kidding.
Oh,
what?
Every time I watch a serial killer
thing
on TV show, they portray the serial killer as a guy that wears white New Balance shoes.
Yeah,
it's like in all of them.
Yeah, you think it's either serial killers or grandpa.
Exactly.
Like white New Balance was orthotics in there. Good Lord.
Just crazy.
Well, on that orthotic note, I think that wraps us up.
And that's about for a dad joke.
We follow us on Twitter at Brewtiful Game, Facebook, The Brewtiful Game. Just go to the website, thebrutifulgame.com. It'll link you into all those things. Please, if you're enjoying or whatever, just leave a review for us wherever you listen to podcasts, if that's Apple Podcasts or Stitcher, whatever. Take a screen grab and get it to us via social media or our website or our email, brewtifulgame@gmail.com, and we will get a koozie and a magnet out to you. I officially had to replace the magnet on the back of my car because it has been, we live in Florida and it had been on there for so long that it cracked off like glass when I started to peel it off to wash the cars.
That's an achievement.
Yeah. Oh, follow us on Untapped, because right now Ron is all over the place.
Yes, he is.
Our Untapped is very international. I keep waiting for Untapped to sponsor us because
I know, right?
Holy cow, man. We need to write a coffee table book with Ron when this is all said and done about all the beers. Boom. I think that's got us, right? Instagrams, we're in all those normal places.
Yeah.
All right, gents. The only other thing I have is odd British news about, because we eat the British pies. We do the proper pie company down here. So sometimes we watch the we watched some of the matches. We'll go to the British pie or proper pie company over here and get some good British pies. But there's a weird thing where down in the islands, as they say, currently it's like a fight to get better British pies down there as to who's got the best. There's like fights with different companies over fund or over price points. So like they're trying to make a big deal. Like in Jamaica, you can get like your mincemeat pie for like $2.50. You can get like a steak and onion pie in the Bahamas for $3, and those are the pie rates of the Caribbean. That one hurt Ferris so bad.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. The internet cut out.
Are you serious? God damn it.
No, I'm kidding. It was just terrible.
God, that would have been amazing. Oh that would have been, because I'd have made Ferris think through that again.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh God, that was
Where'd
great.
You get that one from?
Well, Karen and I were laughing about bad dad jokes for the last 2 weeks. I just texted her, like, crap, What are those jokes we were laughing about? I forget which ones it was.
That's a pretty good one.
she sent 3 different ones. Like, oh, right. That's a good one.
That's pretty good.
There you go.
It's probably one of your better ones, in all honesty.
That's pretty good.
See, it's all about trying to give it a
But you have to sell your like setup better now. Like I don't know how you do it. Like I just know when you're getting into it. And that was like a slow burn with a big bang at the end, but they're not all that way.
Still, nothing beats the whole "why did it take them so long to tunnel from England to France?"
Yes, that was one of your better ones. Too.
Written off more than they could shoot you.
That was so stupid.
That was worth the price of the book Ron bought that had the dad jokes. That's still the best one. Aha! Well, there you go. We like to leave the show in a bit of a love the beer, cherish the game, the Brewtiful Game.
Here's the Pirates.
See you in a week, Ron.
Later.
Safe travels.